What's up, everybody? I'm Akeem Lawanton, and you're watching The Weekly Fix. This is the show where we catch you up on all you may have missed this week in games and entertainment news. Now, the week in gaming was filled with surprises like Battlefield 2042 being one of the worst reviewed yet most played games on Steam, and Halo Infinite cheaters crashing the multiplayer party. Now, on the entertainment side of things, Tom Holland's future Spidey status is revealed, and Keanu Reeves drops some Matrix updates. Let's start December off right.
Battlefield 2042's launch has been met with over 30,000 negative reviews of the total 42,000 on Steam, making it the 9th ranked worst reviewed game of all time on the platform. Yikes. The EA shooter is currently experiencing a pretty dismal launch in a little over a week, as the players are reporting a number of reasons spanning from lack of overall features in the game normally found in Battlefield games to technical issues. Some noteworthy mentions on the Reddit post of features missing in 2042 include a lack of content around guns, vehicles, and a change to the game's class system. Amid the bad reviews, DICE has worked to make changes to the game in order to improve player experiences. Tweeting last week updates to the game will help improve the smoothness and experience on servers moving forward. Despite the game's terrible reviews according to SteamDB, Battlefield 2042 is currently ranked second only to Halo Infinite for trending games for the last 7 days and for peak players in the last 24 hours. In addition, 2042 ranks 89th in the platform's ranks for highest peak concurrent players of all time, while the beta ranks 54th. So even with the enormous amount of negative feedback, the game is being played quite a lot. Moving on, Sony has finally patented the PlayStation 5 faceplates after threatening other companies for making them with legal action. A patent filed by the publisher can be found on the United States Patent and Trademark Office website with an official recognized trademark date on November 16th. Sony has released several official controller colorways for the PlayStation 5, but it hasn't offered different colors for the PlayStation 5 itself. The patent stirs speculation that Sony may now be planning on selling individual faceplate replacements to perhaps match the Midnight Black and Cosmic Red DualSense controllers. Sony has not commented on reasons for filing the patent, nor made clear if the purpose was simply to stop third-party companies from producing variant faceplates. Dbrand is still selling their version of the PlayStation 5 faceplates called Dark Plates, and their website still has a cheeky message for Sony challenging them to sue, which maybe Sony might now that they own the patent. And finally, Horizon Forbidden West has a whole team of developers just to make the open world game feel alive, calling them the Living World team. According to a PlayStation blog post, the lead Living World designer, Gorilla Espenson, explains how the team is diligently working on a different aspect of world design to bring it to life. Son went on to say that his team's hope is that when players walk through the Forbidden West, everything should feel authentic, alive, and beautiful down to every detail of the game, from tribes, settlements, people, and everything in between within the world. Son hopes to translate the narrative framework into visuals that integrate the world, leveraging storytelling, details, animation, and behaviors to offer a distinguished world where ultimately the player will feel transported. Call of Duty Vanguard launched back on November 5th, and to many surprise, it isn't doing so hot compared to previous Call of Duty games in terms of sales. A survey conducted by GamesIndustry.biz in collaboration with PAX and EGX gathered responses from over 670 gaming convention attendees in recent months to figure out people's purchasing habits. Of those, only 21% of the group has said they bought Vanguard, with more than half of respondents saying they did not buy Vanguard because they are too busy playing other games already. Some were even reluctant to buy Vanguard because most are quite happy with Call of Duty Warzone, while some were simply waiting for other FPS titles like Battlefield 2042 and Halo Infinite. The survey also pointed out some fans were just not interested in World War II games, and some were put off by the reviews of the game in general. Surprisingly, there was a small percentage, 6% specifically, who refused to buy Vanguard in order to not support Activision Blizzard due to its business practice or treatment of employees. Among other reasons listed to not buy Vanguard were cheaters, the single player mode not being great, and the download size being just too damn big. Granted, this is from a small percentage of gaming enthusiasts, but these sentiments do seem to reflect early sales numbers as Vanguard sold fewer units at launch than last year's entry, Black Ops Cold War, in both the UK and Europe in physical units and digital downloads. Vanguard's review score hasn't been working in its favor either, with complaints about the multiplayer portion not feeling really distinguishable from prior Call of Duty titles. In addition, Vanguard's campaigns, even being highly polished, seems very short and lack variety. I guess Vanguard is kind of the black sheep in the COD series, as fans are playing Battlefield 2042 more, even with its reviews being worse than Vanguard's. Moving on, we got a sneak peek at Starfield's realistic universe in the form of a new concept art for the upcoming Bethesda game. In a video diary featuring game director Todd Howard, we get a glimpse of what to expect in the new scientific approach to realistic exploration. Howard mentions that Starfield will offer mechanics similar to Skyrim's epic fantasy setting and Fallout's retro-punk apocalypse, but be completely different and absolutely captivating. What has made Bethesda's previous titles so groundbreaking is their ability to feel so real and authentic, with players able to touch just about everything, and Howard plans to take Starfield to new heights in that department. Howard is quick to point out that Starfield will be considered a universe and not just a game, and this concept is its design focal point. The video includes lots of concept art of astronaut foods, along with mundane items and habits that truly make the world of Starfield look and feel believable and authentic. Howard also teased the culture to be another important aspect of the universe, with toys, bedtime stories, art, and entertainment woven into the world of Starfield. In a similar manner to how players began their journeys in Skyrim starting in a dungeon and Fallout emerging from a vault, Howard aims to have Starfield's step-out moment feel just as monumental. And finally, our days of immortalizing groundbreaking glitches in GTA the Trilogy may have come to an end. Or not, who knows? Rockstar has released an update that includes fixes for the remaster's infamous rain effect, cinematic camera, and more. On Rockstar's support website, the 1.03 patch includes fixes for individual games and for specific platforms, including improvements across the entire collection. Noteworthy fixes are the removal of rain from indoor scenes, texture problems in San Andreas, and the giant nut at the Tough Nuts donut shop is now fixed from being a washer. Patch fixes are being released for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, and PC, but the Nintendo Switch will have its 1.03 patch arrive in the coming days. Will you rise up to become a hero or succumb to the call of villainy? Well, you now have either option, since PlayStation Plus subscribers are being treated to an all-new games lineup on December 7th. Coming this month is the looter slasher fantasy action RPG Godfall Challenger Edition. The game lets players engage in third-person melee combat as they fight dangerous enemies while gathering new weapons and armor to perfect their build. Included in the Challenger Edition are unique modes, endgame co-op with upgraded editions of Godfall, and cross-gen player support. Players can upgrade to the Deluxe Edition, unlocking Godfall and Fire and Darkness campaigns. Then, forget Batman or the Justice League and make way for the Justice Syndicate in LEGO DC Super Villains. Create and play as an all-new supervillain in an action-packed DC LEGO adventure where the Justice League has vanished, and it's up to you to save the world from its demise. Well-known villains make appearances like the infamous Joker, the lovely Harley Quinn, and a couple other familiar faces you know and love. Other games on the list include the single-player No Mercy action RPG game Mortal Shell, the PSVR brutal sci-fi horror roguelike game The Persistence, the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners VR game, and the VR sword fighting game Until You Fall. You have one last chance to download November's PlayStation Plus games, but be quick, subscribers only have until Monday, December 6th before time runs out. Speaking of new games on subscription service, Microsoft has updated its list of games for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Halo Infinite players will gain access to monthly bonuses just for being signed up. Additional content bundles that include a range of useful in-game items will be offered to subscribers, such as the exclusive Past Tense MA40 assault rifle coating on December 8th for the multiplayer mode. In addition, the bundle includes 4 double XP boosts and 4 challenge swaps to help players with their Battle Pass progression. I should also mention that 343 has addressed the current state of cheating in Halo Infinite's multiplayer mode and affirms that improvements to the game will be made closer to the official launch. A wide range of features will be added, including an anti-cheat feature that will ensure players will be able to truly reap the rewards for their hard work. In addition to the goodies for Halo Infinite, Xbox Game Pass subscribers will gain access to Halo Infinite's full release on day one. Other titles will be available like Stardew Valley, Final Fantasy XIII-2, Lawn Mowing Simulator, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, and Aliens Fireteam Elite, just to name a few. Halo Infinite's console players are banding together and calling for crossplay to be turned off, as reports of cheaters have escalated only a week after the multiplayer component was released to the public. Over on Halo subreddit, numerous players have commented on cheaters in Halo Infinite's multiplayer mode becoming an increasingly frustrating problem. Players are speculating that aimbots and wall hacks are being used across online matches, with social media providing a wealth of videos showcasing cheaters in action. According to Reddit user Caterpillar3153, cheat providers are currently listing all types of cheats, from infinite ammo modifiers to the ability to unlock paid cosmetics. There are even reports of hackers blocking theater mode replays to prevent video-based reports of cheating. Cheats are more easily enabled on PC, and as such, Xbox console players are calling for the crossplay feature to be disabled so that PC and console players are no longer put in the same pool of matches. Even with crossplay disabled, the issue still remains that there is a lack of security for the Halo Infinite multiplayer mode, and what's more disappointing is the lack of a report function present during matches, especially for players accessing the game via Steam. Let's hope this gets resolved before the December 8th launch. In lighter news, if you had to guess which console sold the most this Black Friday weekend, you'd probably never guess it was the Xbox Series S. Unless you bought one or read up on it online, in that case, you're ahead of today's news. Good for you. According to a report by Business Insider, the Xbox Series S outsold the Switch, PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series X, even as the less powerful digital console. Now, if you're wondering why this is the case, well, frankly speaking, unlike the other consoles, it's actually much easier to get an Xbox Series S at retailers, and with a $300 price tag, it's a little easier on the wallet compared to a Series X or PlayStation 5 or even a Switch OLED. Not to mention, Phil Spencer's push for Game Pass has made the digital-only console more appealing, as consumers can access a large number of games, both new and old, for a low price. And with a vast array of games now accessible through Game Pass's backwards compatibility feature, and even hit games like Halo Infinite and Forza Horizon 5 on there, the amount of accessibility for anyone with an Xbox Series S seems to outweigh having to fight bots for any other console. So, buy a console for $300, pay for a Game Pass, which is like $1 or on PC or $9.99 per month, and play all the games. That's kind of a good deal. And finally, DC Douglas, the voice behind Resident Evil's Albert Wesker, has allegedly shared confidential concept art for an unannounced Resident Evil 4 remake, as well as been accused of serious sexual misconduct. According to tweets by Beware Creepy VAs, the account states DC Douglas not only admitted to being Wesker in the new remake, but showed this Wesker concept art given to him by Capcom USA. Further on in the Twitter thread, others chimed in to report being sent a copy of the concept art by Douglas, asking them not to share it despite the fact that this is a breach of NDA terms. What's worse, evidence of DC offering sexual favors in exchange for exclusive access, often grooming young fans to sleep with him, has blown up in conjunction with this recent news. The thread goes into detail on DC using his voice acting status to prey upon fans, and even have them defend him against victims on social media. Since then, Douglas has deleted his Twitter, and Capcom has yet to issue a public statement or even deny the authenticity of the images. As of now, there has been no official announcement from Capcom on Resident Evil 4's remake release date or what to expect. So I guess we'll just have to wait to see if Wesker's concept art holds true, and whether DC will remain the voice actor for Wesker.
It's time to take a quick break, but when we come back, we've got more on Spider-Man plans post No Way Home and an update on the Matrix Resurrections. See you in a hot sec. Welcome back, friendos. Now, Suicide Squad can't seem to leave our minds as Jared Leto is pushing to release the Ayer cut of the 2016 version of the film. But before we get to that, it's been confirmed that a new Spider-Man trilogy is coming, starring the current Peter Parker, Tom Holland. Take a look. Spider-Man No Way Home hasn't even hit theaters yet, and we're already getting confirmation that there's more Spidey flicks on the horizon. Now that's good news to receive on Spider Monday, and it's even better to learn there's potentially 3 more Spider-Man films Marvel fans can expect in the future. Now speaking with Fandango, longtime Spider-Man producer Amy Pascal confirmed that Tom Holland will be continuing his role as Peter Parker and the potential for more movies to come. Now she said, quote, "This is not the last movie that we are going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. We are getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. It just isn't part of, we're thinking of this as 3 films, and now we're going to go on to the next 3. This is not the last of our MCU movies." Now, while this is far from direct confirmation that Tom Holland is signed on to star in another trilogy of Spidey films, this does speak to the long-term plans Sony has for the old webhead. And Pascal has confirmed that both Marvel and Sony will continue to work together as partners, as well as expressing interest in working with Holland in non-MCU movies. Now that bit of news is no surprise, as Tom Holland's star continues to just skyrocket as he steps into the role of other iconic heroes such as Nathan Drake in the upcoming Uncharted film. Now I think we're all really excited to see what secrets and surprises will be revealed when No Way Home hits theaters December 17th. Now, speaking of No Way Home, there's absolutely no way you were able to snag tickets to see No Way Home while at home on your home computer, was there? Show of hands. No way home. Anyway, the reason I say what I just said is because tickets were in such high demand this Spider Monday, or Electro Monday, depending upon who you ask, that several theater websites seemingly crashed due to high volume traffic. Now, tickets went on sale at midnight November 29th, and while a batch of folks got their tickets without a single snafu, some were busy struggling and couldn't get past the dreaded loading screen. Now, we've all been there, especially if you're a hype beast trying to get the latest Yeezys or Supreme drop. Now, I don't know, I gave up on trying to cop things that way a long time ago. Resale, baby, on StockX, yeah. Now, don't try to grab your tickets for resale. It don't even work that way, I don't think, no. Now, according to comicbook.com, sites like AMC, Regal, and Fandango began crashing within minutes of the ticket drop. Now, while most came back online eventually, websites were still dealing with heavy traffic, and some, namely AMC, added a queuing system to help with the influx of customers. It seems like opening weekend is gonna be hella packed in those theaters, but there's likely still tickets available at a theater near you. Some screenings might be almost full, but you can probably still see the movie opening night, so you don't have to avoid the internet for spoilers, because you already know there's gonna be some people out there that's just gonna drop it on Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, everywhere. That's just how the internet works these days. Yeah, it sucks. Now, finally, with Demon Slayer Season 2 well on its way out of the Mugen Train arc, we can finally prepare ourselves for the next phase of the Demon Slayer anime series with the Entertainment District. Now with that, we have a new trailer that dropped exclusively in Japan, but thanks to this Twitter user, we get a preview of what to expect in the Entertainment District arc, which is set to start airing in Japan December 5th. Now, new challenges abound for our Demon Slayers, y'all. Can't wait to see what's in store for them.
Joker actor Jared Leto has let it be known that he supports the release of the Ayer cut of 2016's Suicide Squad movie. While promoting his new film House of Gucci, Variety asked the actor if he wanted Warner Brothers to release the director's cut, to which he had this to say.
Absolutely, why not? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? I mean, that's what streaming's for, right?
So, there you have it, short and sweet. Production on Suicide Squad was reportedly quite chaotic, and not just because Leto allegedly pulled some pretty gross pranks on his co-stars to help him get into character. According to director David Ayer, the studio messed with the movie so much that it no longer matched his original vision, and now he wants a do-over. And for what it's worth, Zack Snyder got a mulligan on Justice League, and when the Snyder Cut was released on HBO Max as a streaming exclusive, it was generally praised as an improvement over the theatrical release. The Ayer cut of Suicide Squad reportedly has more drama, less jokes, and a Joker storyline that actually makes sense. No wonder Leto wants it out there. And riding this new hype wave is Ayer himself, who shared Leto's words of support on Twitter and added his own attempt to fan the flames for the Ayer cut. tagging AT&T in a tweet that reads, quote, "Exactly what streaming is for. If you own IP and you have a mandate to monetize it from your shareholders, that's exactly what you do." So Leto and now Ayer are saying that releasing director's cuts is what streaming is for? That can't be right. But what I think they mean is HBO Max set a precedent with the Snyder Cut, and it showed how streaming can be an avenue for director's cuts, and given their unsatisfying experience on Suicide Squad, they see it as their chance to fix creative wrongs and finally show DC fans the movie they originally envisioned. Now, the problem is Warner's reportedly paid $70 million for the Snyder Cut. That's a lot of money. There was an incessantly loud and public demand from Release the Snyder Cut fans that just isn't there for the Ayer cut, and not to mention, the heads of HBO Max have already said multiple times that they have no plans to release the Ayer cut. But who knows, maybe with Leto's support, it could happen. Do you want to see it happen? Let us know your thoughts on the Ayer cut down in the comments below. Even though the Star Wars sequel trilogy has wrapped up, we all know that striking something down only makes it come back stronger than we could possibly imagine, and that's what Kathleen Kennedy and Disney have in store for their cast of sequel trilogy characters. When asked if there was potential to see the likes of Rey, Poe, and Finn again by Empire magazine, the Lucasfilm president said, quote, "Certainly, those are not characters we're going to forget. They will live on, and those are conversations that are going on with the creative team as well." Ooh, I sense a disturbance in the fandom. While the sequel trilogy started out on solid enough ground with The Force Awakens, the release of The Last Jedi, love it or hate it, splintered the fandom, and The Rise of Skywalker broke it even more, leaving a bad taste in fans' mouths. So there's not exactly a big appetite right now to continue those stories. That said, Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker was brutally criticized when the prequels came out, but now he's being given a hero's welcome for his return as Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan show. The fandom has a funny way of looking back fondly on the franchise after some time has passed. So perhaps one day there will be an appetite for example, a Poe Dameron spin-off with Zori Bliss and Babu Frick, pulling him back into the criminal wonderworld for one last job. Lastly, League of Legends fans will be pleased to hear Netflix's Arcane series has been given the green light for Season 2. The series explores the beginnings of the many popular characters of the popular MOBA game with popular storytelling tools such as dramatic tension, dynamic characters, and gorgeous animation. Heck, we here at IGN gave it a perfect 10 for being a straight-up masterpiece. Not to jinx it, but here's hoping they can pull it off again in their sophomore season. Get it? Jinx.
As we gear up to enter the Matrix one more time with Matrix Resurrections, Keanu Reeves revealed that filming for the upcoming movie was very different from the original outings. Now, in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Reeves compared the upcoming movie to the original trilogy and how there were very little rehearsal involved in the filming. That's nuts. Now, while speaking on director Lana Wachowski's approach on the new film in comparison to the original trilogy, he said, quote, "She was more behind the monitor, but still hands-on. With Resurrections, she was participating more with the movement of the camera and more interested in doing than rehearsing. We barely rehearsed, if at all." Wow, barely rehearsed. That's crazy to even just think about. Now, the Matrix movies are known for their dynamic, well-choreographed fight scenes. Now, if this particular film saw less rehearsal, does that mean, we'll likely get more authentic reactions akin to classic kung fu films or older Jackie Chan movies when it comes to the fight scenes? I mean, honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now, I hope so. Although I have to say Jackie Chan notoriously got injured numerous times while filming on his movies due to him performing his own stunts. Now, I doubt Keanu Reeves is performing his own stunts. There's definitely gonna be a stunt double. It's gotta be. Anyways, one thing's for sure, this Matrix film will be significantly different from the original trilogy, especially with actor Yahya Abdul-Mateen II portraying Morpheus, the role famously played by Lawrence Fishburne. Now, would love to know your thoughts on this information. Is it a good sign that they apparently barely rehearsed? Sound off down below. And that's not the only departure from the original trilogy we'll be seeing in Matrix Resurrections. Now, in the very same EW interview, we got news that this particular outing won't be as dark as the original films, infusing the Matrix with humorous and joyous moments. Wow, that's nuts. Weird flex, but okay, I guess. Newcomer to the franchise, Jessica Henwick told Entertainment Weekly that Resurrections has a new tone and look, giving the film an overall joyous feel. And Keanu chimed in and said he was surprised by how much humor was in the movie. Again, this doesn't sound like your father's Matrix. I guess our Matrix. Who am I kidding? If you remember the original trilogy, you're probably old enough to be a parent by now yourself. You're probably a mom or dad with a kid of your own. Yeah. Anyway, while Reeves went on to say that the movie has many suspenseful, clever, and funny moments, we shouldn't expect Neo to start suddenly cracking jokes himself, like, why did the chicken cross the road? I don't know, to eat the blue pill. Whoa. I don't know what he would say if he was cracking jokes, who knows. The movie does indeed sound like a slight departure from the gritty cyberpunk stylings that made it so iconic back in the day, but we'll have to wait and see if it hits the mark when we jack into the Matrix when Resurrections hits theaters and HBO Max December 22nd. I'm Akeem Lawanson, and that was your weekly fix, everybody. Now we'll be back next Saturday with more of the biggest gaming and entertainment news of the week. We'll see you then.